Let's start then. Thank you everyone for joining. And I know it's a weekend, and here in UK it's a nice sunny day as well. I don't know where all you are, but I'm sure that you wouldn't want to, spend an hour here on a webinar. Uh, and I hope that you will be able to enjoy this, and hope it's going to be worth it. So I'll try my level best to make it interesting. And just to put a face on the voice, I'm going to share my webcam. I'm not sure if yeah. So are you all able to see me? Anil, I'm just unmuting you so that you can just say
Yeah, yeah.
you can see me. So okay. So yes. So this webinar is about cloud ERP, and basically the idea is to make people aware of Oracle ERP Cloud, and give an overview of what it is. And I want to talk specifically about Oracle Fusion Financials and what are the key features of it. And yes, so let's start. So a bit of introduction about myself. My name is Sunil Sadhwani, and I'm an Oracle certified Fusion Financial Specialist. Um, I have around more than 20 years of Oracle ERP experience in full lifecycle implementations for various clients in various sectors, in training, implementation, support as well. I've done corporate trainings for Oracle for corporate clients on the premise as well as online. So I thought this is an opportunity for me to reach out to a larger audience, not just corporates. So this is a step in that direction. I am a director in Delta Advisory Services. This is a company I operate. This company was founded in 2014 with a view to provide quality services in education, training, consulting, and implementation of Oracle ERP. Now, today's agenda uh, is overview of Oracle Cloud ERP. I'm then going to talk about cloud financials. So, cloud or Fusion Financials. We'll see the key features of Fusion Financials. We'll talk about career options in Fusion Financials. What are the technical roles in Cloud ERP? And specifically talking about technical roles because people who have had background from e-business had very specific questions as to what is the future of the technical roles in Cloud ERP going forward, because they're used on-premise used to be where you would be able to customize, but in cloud there are limitations with what you can do. Now, before I begin, I know that there would be people who have had previous Oracle experience on this webinar. Also, there would be people who wouldn't have any background of Oracle, or maybe they would have just started out. So in certain situations, you will find that I'm talking too technical, and that would make sense to the more experienced people. But sometime I would also talk very basic for those audience who would have not have had so much of experience in Oracle before, or they would have just started out. So please bear with me. And although I said that there will be a question answer session in the end, but what I would like to do is, to make it more interesting and interactive, if there are relevant questions, I would like to take that questions as well in between the session. Just type in the questions. I will be able to see them here, and then I'll try to address them. And of course, in the end, 15-20 minutes, we will just keep it for question on an answer session if you have any, right? Career options in Fusion Financials, yes. So I will talk about that. Uh, then we offer training opportunities on Oracle Cloud Financials, and we also help on Oracle certifications. So how you go about preparing for certifications, how you attempt those questions, and all that kind of support. Yes, in the end, we'll open the floor for question and answers. So let's start with overview of Cloud ERP. Now, I know that there are people with varied experience here, some related to technology, others not. but try to keep it more generic wherever possible. So cloud ERP, what is cloud ERP? Now, cloud software as a service, also known as SaaS, software as a service, which means you could, subscribe to a software application, for example, monthly or yearly subscriptions for a user. That is software as a service, predominantly, which means that you do not actually own the software. You just kind of you're paying it for using it. Now, Oracle SaaS has got various services, various offerings. Sales Cloud is one of them. If you see Global Human Resources Cloud, which is also known as HCM, and then we have ERP. So this is what you see in red is Oracle Cloud ERP is one of the offerings as part of the cloud SaaS offerings from Oracle. So there are other SaaS offerings like Sales Cloud, right now, Human HCM, ERP is one of them, right? Now let's talk about what is Oracle Cloud ERP. Now these boxes which you see within this red rectangle is what is Cloud ERP, which is made up of financials module, project management, procurement, revenue management, and accounting hub. And the box which you see above, these is Oracle Enterprise Performance Management, which includes planning and profitability, financial close and consolidation, enterprise data management and reporting. Basically, this is EPM, what used to be called earlier Hyperion. So most of you would know, or some of you would have known that Hyperion was bought by Oracle, and this is your EPM products which are used by most companies, and they sit at a level higher than the ERP products. So ERP is where you would, do your transactions, and here you would actually do your consolidation, reporting, planning, and budgeting. So ERP, when we talk about ERP, is a suite of cloud applications for finance, project management, procurement, revenue management, accounting hub, and other core day-to-day activities of a business. So ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning, and any software which is used throughout the enterprise for any of these functions like financials, procurement, project management, revenue management, accounting hub comes under ERP. Now, financials I will talk about in the next in the slides below. Project management is made up of project costing, project accounting, project management modules. Procurement is the P2P process from sourcing um, to contracts to purchasing and self procurement as well. Revenue management is how you actually recognize your revenues, and accounting hub. This is a very interesting module which Oracle have been trying uh, to push forward. This is very good in terms of the facility of the features it provides. Accounting hub is a rules-based engine where you can integrate external systems um, and their accounting needs. So you have in a typical enterprise, you'll have distributed systems. You'll have, for example, let's say an insurance company, you would have a premium uh, collection system. You'll have another where policies are maintained, and so on. Life insurance. Then there would be another for general insurance. So all these applications could, send their transactional data and then into accounting hub, which can be used to capture those data, and you can build the rules around those event classes and how you would want to account. So for example, debits and credits, which accounts to affect, and all those rules, especially those rules which come in the financial services industries, for example IFRS 16, 17. So if you have needs to to account your source systems in a particular way, you can easily build those rules from simple pass-through accounting entries to more complex formula-driven or event-driven modules. From there, you would see accounting hub transactions would be sent to general ledger for final posting. Okay. So let me just see if anyone has asked any questions or anything. No, not yet. So let me just go to the next slide. Overview of Cloud ERP. Now, Cloud ERP versus Cloud Oracle Fusion. There seems to be some confusion what is Cloud ERP and what is Oracle Fusion. Uh, these are used interchangeably. But to clarify, Oracle Fusion is the name of the product, right? Which was developed using the best features of JD Edwards, Siebel, e-business, Oracle e-business suite, Hyperion, PeopleSoft, etc. So it's just the name of a new product. While Oracle Cloud ERP is a SaaS solution of the same product, which is Oracle Fusion. So when you, yeah, so the difference is how the product Fusion is deployed. It can be deployed on premise, right, on the client's servers or data centers, or it can be deployed. The same product, Oracle Fusion, can be deployed on the cloud, and then it becomes a SaaS. So Oracle Cloud, yes. So that's the only difference. The same product, it's the deployment which is different. Now, when we talk about cloud, there are three important concepts which you should understand. One is SaaS, which is software as a service. Oracle PaaS. PaaS is platform as a service, and third is IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service. Now let's see what Oracle SaaS is. Ready to use cloud-based application like ERP, HCM. So you just will be given a URL. So you subscribe to a software solution. You say I want 10 user license for Oracle Fusion Financials. So whatever the price is per user license per month or per year, you will get that URL and then just start using the software. Built-in customization features to make the simple changes like look and feel, build custom reports, approvals, and process flows. Because it is a SaaS solution, there is not a lot of customization which you could do within the application. You can extend it. That's a different concept, but you can't customize a lot. You can make some simple changes, like you can put the branding of your company, you can change the colors, you can change the look and feel, but you can't change a lot of processes which was possible on the premise deployment. But at the same time, you can build custom reports. Every organization has requirements to for custom reporting. You can have approvals which is specific for your organization, your company policies. You can put in the approvals, and also you can change your process flows. For example, in a payment, you can make the approvals mandatory, or you can put in reviews wherever necessary for making the payments, or you can remove the approvals if required. So there are certain things which you can play around with. No ownership of the infrastructure. You don't own infrastructure, platform, or applications. So just use the software per user, like pay as you use. Then comes Oracle PaaS, which is the next level. It provides you an integrated platform. So Oracle will provide you a platform. What does platform mean? Platform means they will give you a platform where you can build applications using database cloud service. You can use the database as a subscription. So and you can also use Java cloud service or integration cloud. These are PaaS products. So they give you these products to help you build your application or extend your SaaS applications, and you will just pay for using these services. These are used to extend and integrate your SaaS applications using out-of-box adapters and connectors. For example, integration cloud service is a product where it provides your out-of-box adapters and connectors to various cloud systems, including Siebel, Salesforce, Hyperion, everything. So you can connect those systems using those out-of-box adapters and connectors, and you can start extending or integrating those applications with your SaaS. So infrastructure is provided here. So no need for you to provision it, patch it, backup or tuning is all taken care of. So here you are given a platform which essentially means they give you the development tools. on the subscription basis. Third one is Oracle IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service. Uh, Now this is basically it gives you all the infrastructure, um, which gives you the computing power. You gives you the storage, security, and the networking solutions on a subscription basis. Now, clients do not have to spend a lot of money on these things. They do not have the responsibility of maintaining it, maintaining the hardware or networking equipment, etc. The main advantage is that you can scale up the infrastructure very quickly. You just have to subscribe to or upgrade to the next level, and you should be able to provide a faster time to market to beat the competition. So in this case, you will have your own development in softwares, and you will also build your own applications. So this will just come with the infrastructure. Okay. Now let's move on to the next slide. Yes. So now we come to any questions here? I can't. No, not so far. So that's fine. So let me just continue with this. Overview of cloud financials. Now, this is a complete financial management solution. This is one of the flagship products which Oracle provides, and it is fully integrated with other applications like procurement and portfolio management. It also includes a tax engine, which will help you calculate your transactions, taxes on the transactions, AR and AP both, and the projects as well. And a comprehensive and rich reporting solutions. I will talk about the reporting solutions a bit later. So here you see these boxes at the bottom. These payables, receivables, fixed assets, and cash management are known as subledgers, and this is where all your transactions happen. So, for example, in payables, you will create a supplier, you will create a supplier invoice, and then you will pay those invoices. In receivables, it's just the opposite. You will create a customer. For example, you will raise sales invoices and then accept the receipts from customers in order to settle those invoices. Fixed assets, every organization owns assets, so you will create those assets which the organization owns. Then you would be able to depreciate those assets as per the rules set up. You will also then maybe retire assets, adjust the assets, and so on. Cash management is another module which will you will create your bank accounts, then you will load those bank account statements which your banks will send. Then you will be able to reconcile your bank statement with payables, receivables, for example. Also, you would be able to do interbank transfer. If you have multiple banks which you have created in cash management, you can do the bank transfers. If you see these modules here create transactions, and these transactions have accounting impact. For example, if you create for purchase invoices, this will create an accounting entry. You're affecting your liability and your creditor's account. You'll create a receivables transaction, for example, it will affect your receivables and revenue. All these entries, all these transactions have an accounting impact. So all these the accounting entries which are created is needs to be posted to general ledger in the end as in the form of journals. But what will happen is it will go through SLA, which is an accounting rules engine, and you create you can basically change the accounting rules here in this. So default distributions are generated in the modules here and are sent to subledger. If you don't do anything, and no customer, if you don't interrupt those entries here, and it will simply pass through to general ledger. Those are called pass-through entries. That means you are not doing anything with those accounting entries, and those are getting posted to general ledger as it has been sent from these subledgers. But if you want to interrupt them here and do some modifications, apply some logics based on some rules, you can do so. Now, if you remember, I talked about the accounting hub in the previous slides. Now, accounting hub uses a similar structure, a framework, except that in Accounting Hub, you will have the sources coming from external systems. So the difference between Subledger and an Accounting Hub is Subledger accounting has the sources coming from only the standard payables, receivable, fixed assets, and cash management. You cannot create external sources in subledger accounting. But if you have a requirement that you have other modules somewhere sitting outside of your organization, no, not organization, outside of this Fusion Financials, for example, you have a billing system, you have an insurance system here, a life insurance or general insurance system. What you could do is, if you want to have those entries coming to Oracle General Ledger, then you can pass it through not subledger, it's called Accounting Hub. It's similar framework, but Accounting Hub, you'll be able to create the sources for these external applications in the Accounting Hub, and then you'll be able to create the rules for those event which are happening, and then generate the accounting debits and the credits, and then you can send it to Oracle General Ledger for posting. Right. So this is uh, in very brief on what Oracle Cloud Financials is. Yeah. Moving ahead, I'm just thinking if there are any questions. No. Okay. Again, I would like to just check with Anil. Anil, is everything okay? Sound?
Yeah.
Video?
Everything.
Okay. Check. Thanks. So yeah, let's talk about the key features of Fusion Financials. Now, this is interesting. What are the new features in Fusion Financials? We'll talk about that. New interactive user interfaces. Now, this is a new product which has been built from ground up. So the entire user interface experience is totally different. We'll see. It's very interactive. It is very when you log in, you see that it will notify you of the actions which you have to take. I'll just show you what it means. Role-based access control. This is the security mechanism which they have introduced in Fusion, which means if people from R12 e-business background would know that there was users, then there were responsibilities, menus, functions, menu exclusions, and things like that to control what people can see and do with the system. That has been replaced with role-based access control, which means you have roles now, you have job roles, you have duty roles, and you assign these roles to the users. These roles comes with duty privileges and function security. We'll see that in a little bit more detail in the next few slides. Functional Setup Manager is again a new feature which has been introduced, and this is basically used to do all your setups and configurations in Fusion Financials. It is also a mechanism where you can, export all your configurations and import in another environment. Now, again, this is a very good functionality in Fusion. In e-business, there was nothing of this sort where you could, create the configuration in one instance and you could export and import in another instance from, for example, from development to test environment. You couldn't do that. You will have to do that manually. There were other solutions available like config snapshot and things like that, but that also wasn't integrated. Now this is quite integrated and this is quite useful as well. We'll talk about rapid implementation spreadsheets, which is again a solution to quickly set up your configurations using spreadsheets. So you would just populate spreadsheets and upload it. We'll see how it works in the future slides. Uh, File-based data imports is another uh, new feature which also helps to load the actual data. Now, the difference between rapid implementation spreadsheet and FBDI is that FBDI used to import the data like suppliers, customers, invoices, and things like that. While rapid implementation spreadsheet, you will use it for setup data. For example, you want to set up your ledger, how you want to set up your chart of accounts, you want to set up your business units in payables and things like that. We'll also see some of the features in reports and analytics, which is Oracle BI. BI is business intelligence, and OTBI, which is Oracle transactional business intelligence. We'll see that. We'll see Smart View and Financial Reporting Center as well, which is also we'll have a quick look at approvals management, how it is different from R12. and web services for integration. Now, this is very interesting. How to, how you integrate your SaaS applications with external systems. For example, it is a very common scenario that you have an Oracle general ledger system, but you'll have the feed coming in from external systems. In e-business, for example, you would have interfaces coming from other billing systems, other insurance systems. Now we used to take the file, load it in the interface table, and then run the general import programs and all those things. So of course, you do not have access to the database here in SaaS. So there are web services which are available for integrations, and we'll see how we can use that um, at a very high level. Okay, so let's see the new interactive user interfaces. Just checking the time. Yep, this we are slightly behind, but we'll try to catch up. Now, this is the screenshot which you have taken for when you log in. You will see this is the page. Home button is this. You can put your logo. This is navigator menu, which you will have various options from here. Home panel is this. Now, these are the options which are available: general accounting, invoices, receivables, intercompany. So these will appear depending upon what roles have you been given. For example, if you have been given general accounting role is the access which you will have. If you do not have general accounting, you wouldn't get all these options here. Intercompany accounting, for example, fixed assets. If you have been given a fixed assets role, you will see a fixed assets here. These are called page control. I'll show you how it looks in the system. And this is settings and action menu over here. And this is just welcome Springboard. So yeah, let me just quickly log into an instance. And then when I log in, yeah, so this is how it will look. Now, if you see, these are the various roles I have given myself: receivables, payables, general accounting, intercompany, fixed assets, and some setup and maintenance. This is the FSM manager I will talk about. See the navigator menu. You have got access to all these things. So schedule process is where you will be able to run that concurrent programs, or they are called ESS jobs now, enterprise scheduler services. Instead of concurrent programs, they are called ESS. You have security console, which is like system administrator. If you go to security console, you'll be able to create users, you'll be able to assign roles, you'll be able to create roles and do all those functions from security console. You have reports and analytics, which I will show you later on. And this is the file import and export, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Just wanted to show you, this is the fixed assets menu. You can go from here. You can see procurement. I've given myself access. You can see payables here. I can go to invoices, payments, and other applications. This is the settings and actions menu. You can put your preferences here, how you want to, have this page lookout and layout. Yeah, and this is, you can personalize your Springboard from here. So you can make something visible and invisible. These are the page bars which I was talking about. You could click here and you could go to the next one. Depending upon the roles which you have, you will be able to see this. So this is your high level. So it's called, this one is cash management infolet, where you will be able to see, these are called infolets. And these are service infolets which will skip order to cash and quick actions. So this one is cash management. So these are called infolets. Now, very quickly, this is very informative dashboard sort of thing, where you will be able to set up your cash balance. Basically, you can see what is the cash balance is. Right now, it is showing a 0. Otherwise, if they have unreconciled transaction, you will be able to see them here. What are the accounts which are at risk? Forecast, you can see, you can customize this by saying edit the title and views, or you can hide it. Also, you can expand it. Right now, you don't have any data here to display, but you could see it is a dashboard sort of thing. What are the accounts which it is at risk? For example, if you have payments going through, but you do not have any balances in your bank account, it will show you those accounts where the payments could be declined. So this is quite interactive. Now going back to the welcome springboard, uh, this is the home panel. And again, you can do the social collaboration here using, Facebook style messaging service and things like that. I'm not going to go into that details. So I'm going back to the slides and moving on. So yes, so user interface infolets as part of the infolet page. So we just saw that this is now the example of a general ledger infolet, which shows you these are the journals in error, how many are pending for approval, how many are incomplete, no outstanding intercompany transactions, everything is okay. It will talk. You can see that these are the subledgers which are open. You can drill down and see which periods they are. You can set up your revenue account so that you can monitor the revenues. At the same time, you can set up your expense accounts and see what are the totals for their expenses and allocation pools also. So basically, you can set up a lot of things here, and then when you log in, you'll be able to just quickly see the real-time balances for these infolets. Again, when you log in into an application, for example, in payables, when you log in payables, you'll be able to see further details of that module. For example, invoices, you will see how many were created in last 24 hours. You can drill down here and see how many were validated, how many are on holds. So 5 are on hold because of validation errors. There are 5 prepaid ones in last 30 days, and so on. This is due in next 7 days. 2.33 million is due. So this is what it shows. This is infolets, and you can easily see that when you log in. So I'll just quickly go into payables, for example, and go to invoices, and you can see these infolets. Correct? Yeah. So while I'm here, I wanted to show you payables dashboard. If you see payables dashboard, this is what I meant by interactive. When you log in, you will say how many require your approval, how many pending from approval from others, how many are rejected, how many are invoices which are on hold. This is about the payment process. You can see how many require attention, how many have been completed or terminated, and you could stop the payment process request using this option here. Now, if you go to one second, if you scroll to if you go to invoices screen, this is where you'll be able to see your menu. You can create invoice using this. You can create invoices from spreadsheet. If you click here, you'll be able to download a spreadsheet where you can put in the information for your invoices. You can manage invoices from here. You can create accounting. You can run mass additions and things like that. So let me go back to the slide. Yeah. Yeah, this is what I was talking about, task. Now, this is an example of uh, a GL menu: manage journals, create journals, reconcile. You can create your allocation rules. You can import journals and run the create accounting. Now, let's talk about RBAC a little bit. RBAC, for example, as I mentioned, it is role-based access control. And this starts with users. Let's say there's a user called Casey Brown, and I can assign job roles to the user. So job role is what a user would do. For example, if he's doing general accountant job, so I assign a job role called general accountant, and this job role is made up of duty roles. Now, duty roles could be a journal management duty role, or it could be made up of inherited duty roles, which are part of some other role. So, for example, intercompany transaction entry could be an example of an inherited duty roles. So, job role is made up of duty roles and inherited duty roles. A general accountant can therefore manage journals using the journal management duty role. He can also do intercompany transactions. Also, if I've given an inherited duty role called AP invoice inquiry, then he's able to, go and look at the AP invoices as well. Now, let's talk about functional security policies. Now, these duty roles are made up of privileges. Now, privileges is means what are the privileges available for that duty role. So for example, journal activities, he could create a journal, he could delete a journal, he could post a journal, reverse a journal, things like that. Manage file import export. So if he has got this privilege, you'll be able to import file using file import function menu, which I just showed you earlier in the navigator menu. Manage period close activities, they can close the periods in the general ledger. uh, Privileges, another privileges which is inherited using the intercompany transaction entry is to manage intercompany transaction inbound and outbound. So using this privileges, the duty role will allow the user to create an intercompany transaction inbound or an outbound transaction. Similarly, AP, for example, they can use the uh, payables invoices inquiry screen and view the payable invoices. Now, other important thing is data security, which allows them as to what grants they have on a business object. For example, in a journal, they can have read, write, and delete. On the ledgers, they should, if they have read, write, and delete, then they can create a journal, for example. So data security policy is what access they have got, read, write, or delete. And while this function security gives access to the functional areas, so whether they can create a journal or not. This is so journal is a functional area, while within journal, if they are able to create or delete or edit, that's controlled by data security policy. So just to sum it up, you assign job roles to the user. Job roles are made up of duty roles, which can be inherited as well. And these job roles are made up of privileges and data security policy. Privilege is also called as functional security policy. Okay. So for example, who can do what on which set of data? So imagine general accountant is a job role, right? A job role, general accountant can do, what can he do? He can read, write, delete, which is a data security policy. What is journals? So what can he do? He can access the journals area, he can access the payables area, he can access the receivables area. So that is the functional security policy. And on which set of data? So you might have different ledgers, for example, but I want Casey Brown to have access only to the US ledger. So I'll give a data access set, which is access only on the US ledger, not on the UK ledger. So these are the four important questions what we have to answer. Who is going to do what on which set of data? And this is how it is interpreted in the system. So general accountant, you could create a role, job role. Read, write, delete is a data security policy. Journals is the area, functional area, which is controlled by functional security policy. And on which set of data is actually controlled by data access set. I'll show you how in the next slide, in the system as well. Setup and maintains options to configure applications. Yeah, so let's talk about functional setup manager. This is your setup and maintenance options, which I just showed you, but I'll show you how you can use it. Feature opt-in and for a best fit configuration, guided task list from start to end task setups. So let's look at quickly you see, I'm rushing a little bit because I'm aware of the time here and I've got lots to cover. So using the setup and maintenance, if you go in setup and maintenance, you need to have application implementation consultant role. If you don't have an application implementation consultant role, which is a role which allows you to do setups. If you don't have that role, you cannot set up. Now, what happens is you can search tasks here. For example, I want to create a ledger. So you will say manage ledger. When you do manage ledger, ledger sets, for example, you will see, okay, it brings up all the here and you can click here. You will be able to create a ledger set here. So what they have done is for each setup, they have given a task, right? Now, using that task, you can go and create your ledgers or whatever setups you want to do. But the best practice is to go to Navigator here and create an implementation project. you create an implementation project here. For example, let's say I create an implementation project for fixed assets, and what I will do is I'll go and add the offerings are there. If you can click on the task and the task list, for example, you can say that okay, manage something assets or anything which you want to put. So you can select those tasks and you can apply, and so that this task will get added to your project. Now I've added this fixed assets configuration for rapid implementation, and you can see that these are the three tasks: create fixed assets configuration in spreadsheet. Now if you click here, go to task, it'll open your fixed assets configuration file. Now this is the rapid implementation spreadsheet which I was talking about. What it does is it will open it'll download a spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet will have all the instructions as to how to use that spreadsheet. It's just opening up. Okay, so this is an example of a rapid implementation spreadsheet. It, if you see, the first sheet is about the setup instructions. It just tells you how you have to do. You have to prepare your data, and it gives you guidance as to what to do. This is where you have to enter the data. For example, categories you will enter, labels you will enter. This is your setting up the fixed assets. You will set up your locations. You will set up your asset books. This data needs to be populated. Once you have populated this data, you will validate it by pressing this. And then once it is valid, you will generate the configuration file, which you will then save it on your desktop. And then there are steps here. You would actually upload it to a UCM server, which is Universal Content Server, where you'll be able to put the file in there and then import the file from a UCM server. I'm not going to do the entire end-to-end, but this is how you would do. You will first prepare the data, you will validate the data, generate the file, and then copy that file, upload the file onto the UCM server, and then import it from there. This will create your configuration based upon what data you have entered here. So this is an example of a rapid implementation spreadsheet. Okay, and this is how you would create implementation project here and add task to it. Now, going back to your export and import, what you could do is you could go to the main menu here, yeah, and then you can say manage export and import, manage configuration packages. Here you would create, what are the packages which you want to export. Yeah, once you have done that, you would be able to export, and then once you've exported it, you will get an option here to import it as well. When you export it from development, you will generate the files which you will save it on your desktop. Then you will log into your different environment in which you want to import. In that environment, you will be able to import the setup data. So this is how you do import and export, which is importing and exporting of the configurations, not the metadata, not the customer or supplier or other data, but the setups. Hope this is clear. So it tells you it is a guided task list. It guides you. So for example, if I create let's say for example tax. So when I do tax, when I select the offerings tax, it will automatically tell me that these are the options, these are the setups which you have to do: manage taxes, manage tax regimes, manage tax, and then you have to select all this. It just guides you that these are the steps which you have to do. Yeah, and there are some setups which are optional, which you might not be requiring as per your business requirements, but then you can just leave them or exclude them from here by deleting those tasks. So this is a guided task list. Export and import we have already talked about, from one environment to other. And then you can also report. Once you have done the import, then you can run the reports to see what has been imported, and then you can compare it with the source system. So this is, you can go to functional setup manager by clicking on the setup and maintenance, which we have done before. So, and these are the menu options: manage implementation project. You can copy the configurations and export and import and all other things. Now, rapid implementation, I've just showed you one example, but if you go to task and just type in rapid, you'll be able to see that Oracle has provided a lot of rapid implementation spreadsheets for enterprise structure. You will see fixed assets, you will see invoicing and payments configuration for rapid implementation, All these are spreadsheets available for configuring your setup quickly. So you just put up your data in that file, validate it, generate the CSV file, and upload it into the UCM server. Now, let me just quickly show you. Once you have generated the file, it will generate your CSV file, okay, which you will save. What then you need to do is go to Navigator, right? Hello. Yeah. You will see file import and export. So using file import and export, what you would do is you will upload the file from your desktop, your zip file, and then you will put an account. So let's say that if you are importing assets, for example, so you will go to and choose the correct account. This could be assets import or a general ledger or whatever files you are importing, right? And then after that, you just need to run the two more concurrent programs to load it from the interface tables. So this was just a quick overview of rapid implementation spreadsheet. Of course, this needs a more detailed session to see how it actually works. So what are the quick steps which we have to do? Download the relevant spreadsheet from the FSM task list, which is I just showed you. For example, here, setup and maintenance. You could go and you could download it, or you can search here as well. Or if I have already created it, so I can, yeah. So you can just click here and you will be able to download it. Prepare the data in the spreadsheet. Validate the data using the validate button. Generate and save the file on your desktop. Transfer the file. I showed you how to do the file import, and then you can upload the configuration by submitting the relevant jobs. For example, you could upload fixed assets configuration. This will read the file which you have uploaded and configure the fixed assets as per the data provided in that file. File-based data import is also very similar. This is used to load data for invoices, payments, customers into Oracle Financials Cloud from external sources. This is basically used for data migration. There are templates given to structure, format, and generate the CSV data file. Again, the same thing, you will have to put the CSV files into the UCM server, import the file into the interface tables, and then from the interface table, you will run the ESS jobs, which will populate your base tables from the interface table. And these are the links. So for example, if you go and click on this link, this site is the repository for Fusion application, and you can see that these are the documentation for all the file-based data imports. Auto invoice is for receivable invoices, billing data, customer import, fixed assets. And if I go to the file itself, for example, I want to look at let's say payables invoices. I want to bring in payables invoices. So payable standard invoice import, if I click, this is the XLSM file, which is your macro enabled Excel file. Let me just open this and show this quickly to you. This is an example of yeah. So this is an example of FBDI. You see, it's very similar. The first tab itself is about the instructions and how to generate the CSV file. So this is API. So they have given you sample data as to how you will populate this spreadsheet: invoice ID, business unit, sources, invoice number, invoice amount, date, and all in supplier number and everything, right? Once you have done this, what you would do is you will generate the CSV file. Once you have generated the CSV file, you would save this file on your desktop and then import it using file import, and then run the ESS jobs. One job which you would run for data import is load the file into interface table. Let me just quickly show you how you would do that. So if I go to here, file. So once the file has been imported, so first I will do file import, which I've just showed you. After that, I'll go and submit a concurrent request, which is also called it is now called an ESS. So submit a new request, and I'll search for it. It's called load interface something. Load interface file for import. Now, if you run this program, this will ask you for which file you want to. Yeah, so import process. What are you importing? Are you importing? So if I say I'm importing the invoices, so there would be some process for this. So if I say payables, for example, payables, if it is maybe invoices. Yeah, import payables invoices. If I do that, then you have to select a file. I don't have any file uploaded right now, therefore I'm not seeing any. Otherwise, if I would have imported the file using file import, I could see that file and then I will be able to submit it. And this process will bring your data, your invoice data into the interface table. And after that, you'll be able to run the another load program, which will bring from your interface table to your base tables. Okay, so let's move on. Reporting. Just conscious of the time, we have already only 4 minutes left, but there's lots to cover. Maybe we will require another 10 minutes. I'll just try to quickly go through this. Reporting, you have a lot of reporting. Maybe let me see if we have any questions so far. No. So let me just continue. Reporting in Fusion Financials. This is a picture which shows what are the different solutions available. In the Financial Reporting Center, you have FRS, which is Financial Reporting Studio. You have account groups and Sunburst. You have Smart View reports. You have OTBI. You have analysis and OTBI dashboards. You have BI publisher reports, BI mobile apps. You have GL Fusion ledger balances on which the FRS works. You have transaction tables as well on which you can report your transactional data. So a lot of tools are available. There are other tools like account dashboards and account inspector. You have reports and analytics which I will just show you. There are catalogs, workspace, and ESS. ESS is basically your concurrent programs from our e-business. Now if you want to if you want to create boardroom financial statements with a drill down features, you will use FRS. Now FRS is Financial Reporting Studio, and if people are from this R12 e-business R12 background, they would know Financial Statement Generator (FSG). So this is actually an alternative or a replacement for FSGs. You could do um, you can create balance sheets, income statements, profit and loss account, and other things. Sorry, cash flow statements. Then there are account groups. I'll just show you quickly account groups as well, and how to query balances using account inspector. You would use account groups. Then Smart View is tool which you would create, which you would use to analyze your balances using GL balances cube. But this is another new functionality where they have given the SBase cube itself within Oracle GL. So any journals which you are posting in General Ledger gets automatically updated in real time in the balances cube. So you don't need to actually run the batch processes from Oracle GL to the SBase queue, because it's real time, and these balances are stored at a pre-aggregated levels. So when you want to query, it's there for you. It doesn't have to go and calculate the balances at each hierarchical level, parent or root or child. It's the balances are stored at each hierarchy level, so you don't need to go and calculate those balances. It's already there. um, BI is used if you want to develop reports, for example, invoice print reports, you have check printing reports, purchase order reports, and things like that, which every company has its own format. Then you would use BI Publisher. OTBI is a very good tool, which I will just show you, which is based on the subject areas. You can create your analysis and reports based on those subject areas. You don't require any programming skills for that. You could just select, drag and drop, and the report is ready. You could use it. Then you could export and in all the formats which is available, like PDF, Excel. You can create dashboards, which is something where you can centralize all your analysis reports in one place and just go to dashboards, and frequently used reports can be accessed from there. I'll quickly talk about approvals. Uh, if you remember, in R12 we used to have workflow builder, which was used to as a workflow tool for the rules, and you had AME as well, approvals management engine, which has now kind of replaced with AMX using SOA architecture and BPM suite. It allows you a flexibility in how you can configure your approval rules. I'll just show you an example. It is integrated with HCM because your approvals rule could be based on supervisory hierarchy, or it can be based on job role or position-based hierarchies. You can use approval groups, which are a list of approvers which you would want to add in a approval group, and then you want to make the document go through that approval group for approvals. Yeah, so you could use the rules for various documents like invoices, employee expenses, journals, requisitions, purchase orders. It allows you ability to, select a complex routing patterns. You can choose whether to route the documents in sequence or in parallel, or first responder wins, or you would want everybody to approve it. So all these functionalities and features are there. So how you would do that is, let me quickly show you one example. So this is how inbuilt in Fusion. You do not have to go to another tool separately. You can go from here itself. So for example, if I want to set up my journals approvals, so I can simply go and search for manage journal approvals. If I query on this task, you will see that I can see this manage journal approval, which takes me to the BPM work list automatically from there. So it's integrated here. Now this is how the BPM work list looks like. So you can query on, for example, journals here, journals, and see which, so financial GN journal approval. This is how you can edit here, and you can edit the rules. For example, if I go here, rules, and I can click, for example, on any of these. Let's say I want to customize this. I can go here and make changes. So for example, manager approval rule. I could say I want to edit this. Yeah, I could edit this, and I could put a rule here saying if condition is this, if the amount is greater than this or whatever, then I want to use a supervisory, and then where do I start it from, who is the top participant, whether it is auto approval allowed or not, and things like that. And then you will save it and deploy it. Committing is basically deploying it to make these changes applicable. Similarly, if you go and query for, let's say, other approvals, for example, you would see approval groups you can create from here. There are requisition approvals you can access from here. Yeah. So this was a very quick demo of approvals. Now integrations, let me quickly try to finish this in another 3-4 minutes. I guess this is the last topic. Then we'll open up for questions and answers. Oracle ERP integrations is basically, where you would want to integrate your other external systems on which could be either on-premise or cloud or legacy system. Common inbound scenarios where it could be billing transactions or invoicing data coming from other system into your SaaS environment. There could be a scenario where you have to import journals from different systems or feeds coming in. Outbound scenarios could be you want to send a payment extract to other downstream systems for what invoices have been paid, for example, to other systems. Or you would like to, do an extract of suppliers, customers, to synchronize other applications which could be using those data. For example, if you have another procurement system and you're not implementing Oracle procurement, if you're implementing, for example, Ariba, and you would want to, synchronize the supplier data from one system to other, you want to have a scenario, and then you might have to data extract. Um, so common situation, you can use things like web services, which will help you automate this process. So the FBDI process, which I talked about, was quite manual. You have to download the FBDI, put the data in the right format, validate it, upload it to UCM, and then run the concurrent programs from there, right? Now, there is manual intervention required at at various places, right? What you could do is you could use web services to automate these processes, so it will run in a synchronous mode. So what you could do is it will start with a generate data file. You could encrypt the file using those web services. Then there are ERP integration import services. These are again web services which you will call. This will automatically connect to UCM server, upload it to UCM server, and submit these programs which you will specify, load and import. And then what we'll do is it will extract the data it has loaded. It will purge the interface tables if you want it to, and then it will send you an output file as to what it has done with the import, the data file, right? This is just an example of how the inbound integrations work. So the other example is the outbound integration, where you could use the ERP integration export services under a web service. This will you will create a BI publisher report first, and then you will use the ERP integration service to run this BI publisher report, which will create an output file. That upload file will be uploaded to UCM, and from UCM you could actually extract it and send it back to, let's say, for example, you want to send it to another server, which you could do. Get the data file decrypted, and this is just an example of an automated outbound data extract services. Another tool which is getting popularity now is the integration cloud service, which is configurable, very graphical based configurable tool on the cloud as well, based on subscription model, which you can use to connect various systems from not just Oracle SaaS. You can connect it to other Oracle other SaaS applications like Siebel, Salesforce, JD Edwards, and other applications. It comes with a library of inbuilt adapters and connectors, and you could just extract the files. You can transform these files in the ICS to bring it to a format which your SaaS application is expecting, and then it will synchronize and orchestrate the entire process of putting the file into UCM server, loading running the import processes, and clearing the interface tables, submitting the report back. All this can be done using the integration cloud service. We're coming to the close now. So let me just talk about career options, what you could do. There are various roles which you can, aspire to apply for or become in Fusion Financials. Project and program managers who are responsible for, delivery and managing the projects. Functional consultants are basically those consultants who uh, typically would, gather requirements in workshops, gather the business requirements, put that into a functional specification or a configuration document. In some cases, they might configure the system, or they can get the build partner to, set up the system the way they want. But they are responsible for producing the MC50s, which is the configuration document. The technical term is MC50, the document which is the configuration document basically. Those are functional consultants or functional subject matter experts for each area, called for R2R, P2P, or you can specialize in particular module, accounting hub, or you can have a range of modules in under your belt. Then I talked about the integration consultant. This is fairly technical, where you have to deal with the files, how to manage it, how to connect to different systems. You need to have a knowledge of web services, how to transform the file, map the file, and finally load the file in UCM, and then all those things. Uh, Another example of a role where in a typical environment in a typical project environment, you will see is reports developer, or reports, customization requirements, where you need to have the OBI skills, or you should know financial reporting studio. Data warehouse consultant, not so much in a typical Fusion project, in a SaaS project, but if there are PaaS in implementations, there might be a requirement for people to extract data from external systems, which might be in a data warehouse, or where they would be, mm, asked to extract data, format it, massage the data, and provide it in a particular format. This is basically where people are responsible for environments, exporting, importing configurations, managing the releases. In a typical environment, you would have releases going in every week, so that might have, you have to version the releases, how they're going, it maybe, and you have to see it's not overwriting or causing other issues with your setup. So these things are done by the environment release managers. Then there are data migration consultants, or basically using the FBDI templates, getting the data from various systems in a format, and then uploading it using FBDI. After the project go live, you might have support staff to look after the system and solve the problems after the go live. Coming to training opportunities, we have industry experts, trainers who are fairly experienced in providing training. We have got trainers who have got real project scenarios. They can use case study method to provide training. Also, they would recommend you what are the best practices while doing a setup. So there could be various ways of doing one particular setup, but what is the best way, what is the best practice, because you might encounter those issues later on if you do not take care of this initially in your configuration stage. So what are the best recommendations? For example, chart of accounts, what are the best way, what is the recommended way of how many segments, thin chart of accounts, or a thick chart of accounts, and then all such things. So best recommendations wherever possible. We'll have dedication sessions on certifications as well. So people at the end of the training course will be able to, and sit for the exams and have some credibility from Oracle saying that they have cleared the exam. So we'll focus on dedicated sessions on certifications, and we can provide our experience in clearing those exams. We'll also provide students with, hands-on lab exercises, which is very common. And the other thing is, we would like to provide on-the-job support. So people have got real scenarios where they are stuck and would like some advice. People will love to do that. We can create a WhatsApp group and try to solve their problems. Uh, for beginners, we will also like to offer, career guidance as to how they can, build their careers. We would like to mentor them. We'd like to provide them some tips on how to write a good CV, what kind of skills employers look for, soft skills development, interview support, interview questions, and things like that. This will of course be on a need by basis, but we can certainly look at that. Now, this is what we have come up with right now. We are providing this training for Fusion Financials now starting in March 2nd, 3rd, 9th, 10th, 16th, 17th, and 23rd. So 4 weekends, 6 hours. So total 8 days, and that comes to 48 hours. Timing is is flexible, but what we have done is we have kept this timing 1 p.m. GMT time because it will cater to people from Asia as well as from US. But there could be some situations where people are not able to join this time. Then we can look at different options as well. This training will include GL, payables and expenses, receivables and advance collections, fixed assets, and cash management. All this will be covered in depth, not just an overview, but we'll have an in-depth training in all these things. 48 hours is not a lot, but we'll try to make it as intensive and as possible. We have kept the price fairly reasonable at 499 USD. This is just an introductory price we have kept, but we can assure that the quality would be nothing less than great. Again, we have separate trainings which have not been scheduled yet, but if you register your interest using this on the website info@deltaadvisoryservices.co.uk, we will be launching this accounting hub cloud services, tax, and Oracle integration cloud service. These three are quite unique in terms of delivery, so we have kept them separate. But if you are interested in this, do register your interest and let us know, and then we will schedule this. But for now, we have scheduled in March, we have scheduled Fusion Financials, and then procurement we have scheduled in April. This is only 30 hours, 5 weekends, 6 hours every day, and this is priced at 299 euros. It's fairly cheap. You will be able to learn quite a lot in procurement cloud, which is self-procurement, procurement contract sourcing and purchasing. Timing again is GBP 1 p.m. But again, we can be flexible on that. Now, if you want to register and pay for this, you'll be able to go to my website. Let me just quickly show you here. www.deltaadviceservices.com or .co.uk, whatever. Just go to training, financial cloud. This gives you the details of what the course content is. For example, if you see general ledger, you will see payables, payments, expenses, cloud, receivables, cash management, and assets. On the top, there is a button here, buy now. So this for using this button, you will be able to securely make a payment on the PayPal website. If you don't have a PayPal account, don't worry, you can simply use your card. Or even if you don't have a card and if you would like to make a bank transfer, just let me know. I will share the bank account details. Okay. On the yes. So if you go back to if I go back to my website again, and procurement cloud is again. This is if you would like to attend this procurement cloud training. This is what the course content looks like, and this is a button for purchasing this training package. Now, with this, I would like to end my. We have overgone by quite a lot, but I think we had a lot to cover. So what I will do is now open up for questions and answers. Yeah. So yeah. So people can either type in questions or just raise your hands. I will unmute you so that you can speak. There is one second. Just hold on. So Bobby has asked something, but hi, I work in NHS planning. You've already typed the questions. Let me see. Can I see the questions? Okay, so Shantala has asked, what is the difference between global cloud middle icon and ERP cloud from the first slide? What is the difference between global cloud middle icon and the ERP cloud? Okay, so let me go to that screen, the first screen. I think what you mean is this global human resources cloud. Yeah, I guess if I've got your question correct, would you try? You are asking what is the difference between ERP cloud and the global human resources cloud, correct? Now the answer is these are different applications. ERP is another application. HCM is another application. Global Human Resource Cloud is another name for HCM, Human Capital Management. This is another application. Sales Cloud is another application. So these are different applications. ERP is another application which is made up of these modules which I talked about: financials, project management, procurement, revenue management. Right? I hope I answered this question. So ERP Cloud is a separate application made up of financials, project management, procurement, revenue management, and accounting hub. Whereas HCM is totally different. It relates to HR, payroll, and things like that. Sales Cloud is also totally different. Relates to something different. Um, Parvez has asked, is Oracle allowing to deploy Oracle Fusion on premise? Good question, Parvez. I think till Oracle was saying that they will stop this Oracle Fusion on-premise after release 8, but I can still see some documentation available for release 12 as well. So I'm not 100% sure if they have stopped it, but there was this thing that they were saying that they will stop it after release 8. Okay, so could you please re-show us the slide of Oracle ERP versus Oracle Fusion? Salva has asked, could you please re-show the slide of Oracle ERP versus Oracle Fusion? I get this one. Yes? Yes, I think slide Oracle ERP versus Fusion. Yes. So this is the slide. So Oracle Cloud ERP is a SaaS solution. Fusion is the name of the product. And how you deploy Fusion is what it makes the difference. I hope you're able to see this. Bikramojit has asked, the task list will list out all the activities to be done, or we need to define it. Good question, Bikramojit. What you will do is when you select an offering, and it will automatically show you all the tasks that are under that offering. And within that, then you can exclude certain tasks which you don't want. So it will show you everything under that offering. For example, if you're implementing payables and you select payables offering, it will show you what all activities you need to configure for payables. Payables options, procurement options, if you're implementing payments, templates, invoice options, everything. And then you can decide which ones you don't. There are mandatory ones, of course, which you have to set up. If you there are optional ones which you don't, you can just delete it from your implementation project. Hope that helps. But still, if you have any questions, email me. I will be glad to answer that. Please run any program and show how it's looking. Not sure which program are you referring to. Maybe I'll come back to you again, Bikramajit. Let me see. No problem. You can cover the topics. Please take us. As long as you need people who are happy to stay to learn, will stay behind. Okay. Thank you, Ranjan, for your support. It would be great if you cover integration layer, web services, etc. I hope that there are more attendees interested to stay a little longer. I've covered this, whatever I had prepared, Darshan, but if you want, we can have another one sometime in future, fully covering integration layer and web services. Just drop an email, who are interested, and I'll try to organize something. I'm sorry, I do not have any more material here to show, but and the time as well. But maybe we can cover some other time. Thanks, Naresh. Please send the video recording. Yes, I would share the video recording. Yes, I've got the email addresses. Mahipal, very good overview considering the trimming time. Thank you. Possible to recording. Yes, we'll share the recording. Possible to attend only specific module, just AR. We haven't really scheduled anything just for AR, but if there is a requirement, then we could look at it. Just drop an email with what your specific requirements are, and if there are enough number of candidates, we'll certainly do that. Just drop in line. Maybe we'll see if we can consider it. The email to use is info@deltaadvisoryservices.co.uk. Do you provide an instance that can be used? Yes, we can provide an instance. We are planning to provide it for 3 months, but if you want it for 6 months also, we can look at that. So that instance will be provided. What Manoj is asking, what are your views on Oracle Analytics Cloud on the career perspective? Analytics, sorry, I do not have much information on Analytics Cloud at the minute. So I wouldn't be able to give you a correct view on that. I'm sorry, Manoj, but maybe I'll try to find it out and try to get back to you on that. Bobby, I'm not sure what exactly have you asked. You want to move away from to Fusion, surely. Yes, we can certainly help. Let me know how exactly you are looking to do. We can certainly have a discussion. If you drop an email, maybe we can speak and discuss what are the options available. So again, email me info@deltaadvisoryservices.co.uk. We already typed the question. Salva, yes, Salva, I've got the questions. Could you please re-show the slides of Fusion ERP? I think I've shown that. Do you want to see that again? Anu Bedi, thanks. You like the session and presentation. Can you please unmute me? I have a couple of questions. Shantala, yes. Shantala, definitely I will unmute you. Just let me go through how many questions are there so that we can finish that. Salva, are you still not able to ERP Cloud and ERP Fusion, please? Yes, that's what I've shown. That is what is there on the screen now. In case we need to update to data in the mass, how do we do it? Let me first unmute. I think somebody wanted to ask a question. Shantala, I think. Hi, Shantala. I will just unmute you now. Let me see how I can do that. Yes. Shantala, I've now unmuted you. Yes. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us.
Okay.
I was just thinking it will be a kind of presentation with the PPTs, but you literally went into the system and
Yeah,
gave some
correct.
examples, showed a kind of demo. It was really very nice and very interesting also.
Okay,
So
great. Thank
thank
you.
you very much about that. So I have some basic apprehension about how do we build a career in Oracle Cloud. I
Hmm.
believe one of the guy also asked the same way. I have been working in Oracle EBS R12
Hmm. Hmm.
for quite some time. So now I want to make a move to the Fusion.
Correct.
So how do we really make a career out of it? Just by going through the trainings, would it really help? Because
No,
we
no.
need to have a hands-on with it,
Correct,
right?
correct, correct. Definitely. So this is what this webinar was all about. I mean, this is webinar is to how to build your career. I myself have built my career from e-business. So
Okay.
it's I also was an e-business consultant, but
Okay.
training is definitely the first step
Yeah.
towards this step.
Yeah.
And then there are other areas where you need to look at, how you actually
Mm.
training is just not enough. You need
Correct.
to work in the system. You need to develop that kind of confidence, knowledge,
Mm.
and see how you used to do that in R12. Now how would you do that in Fusion?
Correct.
Exactly. So this is how you would do to progress in Fusion. So unfortunately, it's not very straightforward as to that I can tell you right now. But training is the first step, and then uh, we look at how you could do this, and by using the system, asking questions as to what are the steps to
Mm.
doing that, and then it's just a matter of getting a break somehow. Now with
Okay.
that, you will have a proper approach. You just can't say, I've done my training and that is it. Give me a break.
Mm.
You would
Yeah, the
have
market doesn't really accept only the trainings. Definitely,
Correct.
they'll
So
have the
you
experience.
need to provide something else. as well, some kind of projects which you could show that you would have done outside of
Mm.
your company, or on your
Yeah.
while you doing training you could have done something, you could say that I've done this and all these things. Basically clients also understand that that there are not many fusion consultants in the market, but and they need to give the opportunity to the right candidate as well, who have done training, who have done who have got some experience as well. This is
Okay.
what happened to me as well, but I was able to
Mm-hmm.
demonstrate that I mean I'm as good as anybody else as well, because I've done
Okay.
all these trainings and all these certifications
Okay.
again gets a good credential. So that is why we are focusing on uh,
Okay.
credentials as well.
Yeah, that's nice. And one more thing which I wanted to ask is currently there's a kind of speculation that what will be the future of EBS Artwell. So some say that it is going to stay for a couple of years, and some say the Oracle might stop supporting Artwell also.
Yeah, it
So being
is.
in Oracle Cloud for having extensive experience like could you guide us like what will
Yeah,
be the future of
see,
EBS Artwell, and
yeah,
should we
I also
stick to it or go to
no,
the
no, no. I
cloud?
also keep hearing about these things. Whether sometimes they say they have extended it, sometimes they say
Yeah.
they are finished. They are not going to support it. But the fact is that there are a lot of clients who are there on Artwell and they are not going to go away so easily. But having said
Mm.
that, the push is towards cloud, and more companies are going towards cloud. So eventually, everybody will have to go to cloud at some point. I don't know exactly
Mm.
when will they actually stop doing it, but the move is towards fusion. Move is towards cloud.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The sooner you get
Okay. And
into
better.
cloud, the better.
Yeah. And one more thing is like you mentioned, one of the modules under cloud is the Oracle project management. So if a person or the resource has a project management experience, so is
No,
it
that is
good
totally
advice
different.
for him?
No, that is
That's
totally
a
different.
different one.
Project module, what we are talking about is separate from the project, which project
Okay.
management,
Not
PMP, and
the
all those. No, no, they are
PM
not the
kind.
same. No, no, no.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you for
Shantala.
correcting.
I will have to look at other questions. Thank you for asking
Okay. Okay.
questions. Yeah,
Yeah. Maybe I have another few which I can write it down to the info
correct.
at
Yes, info at
Delta
Delta
Advice for
Advisory
that.
Services. UK. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much for taking my questions, Sunil. It
No
was
worries,
really
Shantala.
good session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, so let me go through other questions. Um, we, so let me just type one more. Salva, have I able? Are you able to see the screens which you wanted to?
Yes, yes. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I've unmuted you.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you for the demo. In fact, I'm like junior level, entry level, but I'm interested in ERP cloud.
Correct.
I think it is like for the next generation, and
Yeah.
even though the e-business is still running,
Mm,
but as an entry level, I don't know. I mean. Whether because I have an IT background, but I'm not very technical. I
mm,
appreciate IT. I have like logical thinking and
mm,
this,
mm,
but I wanted to move to the functional, all right? But I don't have the business like business expertise or even business knowledge. For example,
mm,
for finance here, when they say finance is accounting,
mm,
so it's mostly accounting.
mm.
I have heard that if you have like just like a little bit knowledge, basic accounting rules, that would be fine. But what you have shown here, like it's like a little bit. You should really understand behind the scene what it is like to. It's like the functionality, but business things. So this I don't know. So I don't know how can I pick up quickly, like or shall I do like the training for the
Yes,
yeah
join
for
the
the
training. Join
functional role? Yeah, I don't mind doing the training, but I really want like. I mean, to understand it, to understand well, not just do the training, but to
yes,
understand
this is
behind what is.
this is yeah, this is a journey which you will have to start. So it will start with the training, and then there are things which you will learn on the way, and then it will all start to make sense. It's not. I know what you're saying. At this moment of time, you're confused. You're thinking, how will I do this? What will I do? Will I be able to understand this? Is it right for me? All these questions, I guess, is fair if somebody has this in his or her mind. But all these things can be cleared only when you start to think about it, see how the system is, maybe do another training and see how it looks like. But it doesn't require you to be an experienced accountant or an IT person. If you see, the system is about using it, knowing it, what it does. Not necessarily you need not be an experienced accountant as such. Yes, accounting knowledge helps to understand, but it is not a prerequisite.
Yeah, thank you. What about the integration consultant? Like it's technical one,
It is
but
fairly, yeah,
because I
it
come
is
from
slightly
an IT
technical.
background. Yeah,
It
I
is,
come from an IT. I did like software development. I
yes,
did
yes,
business analyst a little bit. Like I haven't known, but
correct.
I don't like programming and this. I know that it's not gonna involve programming,
Mm,
but it's gonna involve like web services, as you said, and
mm.
architecture and this. I think I could be like I could understand. Like I mean, I could, but I don't know whether I will enjoy it or not. This is why. I mean,
Yes, this is
is
fairly,
it good? Is it good path as well to follow? Because
yes, if you
I
are,
don't
if you
like as
want
well
to,
to jump from. We can't jump like from functional to technical. If I start with technical, I'm sure that I will stay with technical. It's hard to move to functional. But if I start with functional, then I will be able to go to technical. It's no problem. I think like is it better like this, or what do you think?
yes, it is up to people's, but yes, you're right. I mean, integration is slightly technical, and if you already enjoy doing that, then that's the way. But otherwise, functional is very straightforward and very enjoyable career as such. I personally feel that, but people have got different opinions, what they like and what they don't like. Salva, I think I will have to take another question now. Thank you very much for
Thank
asking
you
this.
very
Yeah,
much. Thank
thank you.
you.
Bye. Um, Venkat has asked, sorry, Venkat, for the delay. I apologize for that. There are other questions which I have to answer, and so I'll ask yours, answer yours. In case we need to do updates to data in mass, how we do it? In eBusiness, we usually write simple script. I so just an example. If you have to do a data update, yes, so you could use the FBDI templates which are there, not just to upload, create, but also to update as well. So there are these scripts, so there are these templates available. You do not have you cannot run scripts in Fusion Financials because of course you do not have access to the database backend. What you have, anything to do with the database, you'll have to create an SR and say it and raise it with Jagdish has asked. I'm an e-business technical consultant. Want to know in cloud how do we do complex inbound interfaces? Like example, we have a benefit from a vendor. Yes, so we talked about the integrations, Jagdish. Um, I don't know whether you asked this question before or after that integrations, but yes, there are web services available which can automate your end-to-end process from getting the file, encrypting it, putting it into the UCM server, orchestrating the ESS jobs, and then doing a callback with the output file as well. So all this can be automated using web services. But as I mentioned in the end, integration cloud services is a pre-built packaged service on the cloud, which will also let you do the integrations between different systems on-premise or cloud, between a combination of both basically. I hope I've been able to answer your question as well, Jagdish. Will you provide the PPTs presentation to the attendees? Not sure if I can provide the PPTs, but I will provide you the recordings. Mahipal, are you still there? Um, Mahipal has asked major differences between e-business and cloud financial. I'll come back to you. Let me just see how many questions I have got. Maybe I know any base tables effects like R12. May I know any base table effects? So Devaraju has left, but he wanted to ask, may I know any base table effects, differences? So Vikramajit would like to see any concurrent program. Yes, I can show you how to run from the ESS schedule process. What are your views on the Oracle Analytics Cloud and career perspective? Okay, so Vikramajit, let me just show you as to how um, you would submit a concurrent program. So basically, you would go to schedule processes from here and submit a new request. Sorry, schedule a new request. You can type in, for example, any uh, request which you would want. For example, if you type in general, you could see, for example, you can run a report, general ledger, general entry report, and these are the options available. You will select data access set, your ledger and everything, and then you can just submit. Once you are submitting it, once you have submitted, you will be able to see the request here, and then from here you will be able to click here and then see the files here. If there is an output file here and the log file, you'll be able to see it. You see the attachment. This is for the log file. Similarly, if there is an output file, you'll be able to click here and see that. So if I am able to click here on the log file, it'll say open, and there you see the log file. Similarly, you can see the output file as well. I hope I have been able to answer your question. Maipal, differences between e-business and cloud financials. I think I've discussed this during the presentation, but the top of my mind, which comes is how, role-based access control, totally different. It was not there in e-business. Now it is there in Fusion Financials. Then you have the file-based data import. It was not there in R12. You have a rapid implementation spreadsheets, which we have covered. You have GL S-base cube inside the Fusion now. So, there is no need to transfer these balances using the batch processes overnight. It is instantly updated in the balances cube, and you could use it for reporting on a real-time basis. Yes, these are some of the top things which come to my mind. Hope, but we can do a detailed differences as well if required. Do you also cover HCM and help in HCM certificate training? Jagdish, we haven't started HCM yet, but yes, the plan is to cover HCM as well. So please keep posting your interest, and we will start something on HCM as well. Interested to how program looks like Java. Interested to know how the program looks like Java content program. Not sure exactly, Bikramajit, what your question is. Interested how program looks like. You won't be able to see the program. I don't know what exactly you mean. Maipal, yes. Please send recording to me. Okay. Good construction, Venkat. Yes, thank you, Venkat. Who would be the instructor? You? Yes, Darshan, I would be the instructor. You need to learn reporting tools. Yes. Thank you, Bikramajit. What do you recommend? Salva, we have discussed this with Salva. Thanks, Sunil. Yes. Manoj has asked, do we have database interaction in Oracle Fusion? No, so the database is only you can get view only, like read only connection. Not so. For example, we used to use RBS in EBS. We used to SQL developer to connect, right, using app schema or whatever schema. There you have only got a read only schema where you can just query. I'll just show you in some time if you're interested how you connect. Is Oracle E-Business going to replace with Oracle ERP Cloud? Well, this is the future. Not sure how long e-business will continue to run, but yes, the future is ERP Cloud. Bipul Shukla has left. It is done. Thank you, Sunil. Ahmed Pasha has left. How is the integration implemented? Sorry, he has already left. Yes, Mayufal, we have OIC and AIC courses scheduled. We would be doing a session soon on ICS, OIC and AIC both. We'll keep you posted. So look out for this space. Thank you, Ravi. Jagdish has, I hope I've answered your question, Jagdish. Not sure what, maybe I'm late on these questions. What about OTC modules? Good question. Sangeeta has asked, I have a question. Oracle ERP has many modules, OTC, B2B. You talked about Oracle Fusion. Yes, it is a part of the ERP suite only, but it's sold separately under SCM, supply chain management. So definitely it is still a part of that. Order management and receivables and collections is financials, but O2C is part. Order management is part of the supply chain. Yeah, it is on the cloud as well. No, Sales Cloud is something different. SCM, supply chain management, SCM. Not able to hear me. Shantala, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, Sunil.
Maybe Sangeeta is not. Let me just ask Sangeeta. Sangeeta, are you able to hear me? Sangeeta, you are. Hello? Hello? I've unmuted you. Sangeeta, are you able to hear me? Not sure if she's able to hear me. Others can, I think. Hussein is asking, how can I get access to an instance of the system to play with? So you would have to subscribe to the training, and then we would, as part of the training, you'd get access to the instance to practice. Hussein, that's what you wanted to ask, right? Mahipal, ACH payments, please explain. This is not in scope for this session. Maybe we can have another session for ACH payments, Mahipal. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I don't think there is any more questions. Unless there is any more questions, I will just like to conclude this webinar. Any more questions? Yeah, Jagdish has one more question. Yes. Unmute you. Yes, I will, Jagdish. 1 second. Yes, you have self muted, so please unmute yourself.
Okay.
Hi,
Hi,
Jagdish.
Sunil.
Yes.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, fantastic. I'll keep it short.
Yeah.
Thanks for everything. And you already answered this question. As on top of it, see, when there is an inbound interface, for example, let me be specific. If a file is coming and I want to load it into Oracle Cloud, but before loading, I want to do the manipulations, logic. Yes, those things I can do using the OCIS, whatever you said. But
Correct.
my calculations and logic, suppose it is based on the data already in the system. I have to do and update based on an employee record status in the cloud. So I need to fetch that employee record on that particular period of time, see what it is, and then based on it, I need to do some manipulation and send it back.
Correct.
So I have to talk to the cloud before even do the manipulation for every line of the row. So even that can be handled in OCIS?
Yes, correct. Yes, that can be handled. That can be handled. Yes.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, so probably we'll call some web services to call the data what we need. That will reply me what is the answer.
Yes, exactly. That is where your connections will come into play and adapters. Where once you have connections established, you'll be able to query the records and then do the manipulations. There are mappings available which you can do.
Okay. Thank you, Sunil.
No worries. No worries. Thank you. I'll just put you on mute then, Jagdish. Okay?
Sure, definitely.
Shantala. Yes, Shantala. I will. 1 second. Just hold on. Please send the video recording. Mahipal, yes, we will send the video recording. I have got all your email addresses, so I'll share the video recordings with you. Shantala has got something to ask. Let me just unmute her. Yes, Shantala, you are.
Yeah, thanks again, Sunil. Hope I'm not bothering you with my questions. In the market, there's something called Workday applications, which you must have heard of, right? So, and it is really rushing to explore the market. So many people whom I have known have moved from Oracle ERP to Workday by taking up the trainings. So being in Oracle EBS for quite some time, I'm really not sure. Will that be a good move to make a move to Workday from Oracle? Should we go based
Personally,
on the market demand, or
no,
should
no,
we go
no.
with this?
Personally speaking, I wouldn't. It is better to special. You have been your experience is totally around Oracle, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't do that. I mean, I was also tempted when e-business was not doing well, what to do and all. And at that time, Fusion was not really picking up as well. But I've stuck
Mm.
to this, and now I think I made the right decision because this is definitely picking up. Workday is, yes, is good, is also picking up, but Oracle has another niche, and so I would personally not change. I would stick to what you are doing.
Okay. And through your Delta services, DAS, are you going to assist us with the job opportunities also in UK?
Uh, Not right now, not right now, but we have plans. So we have plans in the future to do that, but not right
Okay.
now. I will be honest.
Okay.
We have plans. There are certain things which are going on in pipeline. Once
Mm-hmm.
those things are through, I would not like to discuss right now. So
Okay.
in future, yes.
Yeah, then looking forward for such opportunities. Thank you
Okay.
so much, Sunil. Thanks for
Okay.
taking my questions. Yeah.
Thanks. I think we have done with all the questions here. Unless somebody has any other questions, I'll give one more minute. Otherwise, we'll just wrap it up. Looks like no questions. So thank you very much, everyone. I really enjoyed the session, and thank you all for taking out your time on the weekend. And yes, we will catch up again. I'll send the recordings, and if there are further information sessions like this webinar, we'll definitely keep all of you in the loop. Thank you. Thanks. Bye bye. Thanks, Alva.